Okay. Audience research. Hello, Kieran, you alright?
Good.
Okay, I'm just going to ask you a series of questions about horror films.
Alright.
Okay, so first let me know something about you. So tell us about yourself, how old you are, and what you enjoy doing during your free time.
I'm Kieran Dean Howland. I'm 17. I live in Lewisham. During my free time, watch TV, play Xbox, go out.
Okay. Okay, so what are your fears and phobias and why?
I don't really have fears and phobias. I used to have a irrational fear of needles, and occasionally movies can get to me. Like there's a monster called a Slender Man in a couple of movies, and I'm pretty terrified of that.
All right. What do you think about horror movies? Like, do they scare you, or is it too predictable?
I don't know. It's occasional one. Like most horror movies, like slasher movies, I won't get scared because it's so predictable. There's just gonna be blood everywhere. But occasional psychological films will get to me, like The Shining and the Blair Witch Project really scared me.
All right then. Is the storyline important, or just moments that would make you jump?
The storyline can be a bit important. Like, I quite like the storyline to The Grudge. Like, if it was just scary bits in it, I wouldn't like the film. But most of the time, I just like the bits that make me jump.
All right. Are you in favour of horror movies being realistic or not?
I don't know, occasionally. Like, I'd rather them be realistic, because sometimes in slasher films it's a bit stupid how people die.
But do you think horror movies being realistic has an influence on how people behave in society?
No, not at all.
Okay. So what do you expect to see in a horror movie?
A lot of jumps. So when I want to watch a horror movie, I want a horror movie that will make me try and cover up my eyes because I'm that scared.
Okay. So what is your favourite horror movie?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I love Blair Witch Project. I also like films like The Ring and The Grudge.
Alright. So what did you like about it, and what's your favourite scene?
I think in Blair Witch Project, right at the end when they're running through the forest, because you think you're going to see the antagonist, but you don't actually see it, so you're just tense throughout that whole film.
Alright, what is your least favourite horror movie and why, if you can think of it?
Ooh, what's my least favourite horror movie? I saw an old horror movie called Boo.
Yeah.
Which was probably the worst thing I've ever seen. It was just so epically dumb. Like nothing happened.
So who's in your opinion, is your most influential horror director and why?
George Romero.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, he's probably he's probably my favourite because he made Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and the whole Dead series.
Yeah. So do you know about horror directors? What horror genre intrigues you and why?
Zombie horror genres have always intrigued me. I don't know, I just love zombies pretty much. I always like the concept of zombies. Okay,
so what cliche would you not like to see in a horror trailer?
In a trailer when they release the monster right at the beginning.
Okay.
I'd rather in a trailer
like suspense.
Right at the end. Yeah.
Okay. I stopped that, man. We're just filming. How do you expect the antagonist to look and what to wear?
I'd say the movie Creep, you never saw the antagonist until the end of the movie, but he looks absolutely terrifying. His face was completely screwed up, he had scars, one of his eyes were busted or whatever. And I like when an antagonist looks scary.
Okay. So who's your favourite icon / antagonist? Or what makes him so dominant?
I've always liked Scream. Because Scream always, I don't know, he just got to me because I always found them funny, but I always thought Scream was good because he would try and kill someone, but he'll get chairs and all this stuff thrown at him and he'll just walk through it. He'll still try and kill them, and then eventually he does. Okay.
So you like Scream, yeah?
Yeah.
But do you like icons as well, like the way they use the mask and the way he's got that long
mask.
knife?
If they have a scary good mask, I love that.
Okay. So what is your favourite icon / antagonist and what makes them so dominant? Forget that question. I asked that just a minute ago. What is your favorite aspect of a horror film? Like the chase, the thrill / rush, the resolution,
I like
killing.
I like the tense bit just before the kind of jump. Just
Okay.
when it's leading up to that, when
So
you,
like the suspense
yeah,
just before
suspense.
just before the climax.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would put you off a horror movie? I bad acting, it being too predictable.
Yeah, being too predictable is annoying when you know like
Yeah.
where the killer's gonna be.
Okay. So how important do you think music is in a horror movie?
I think it's very important, but I mean like not cheesy music, stuff like that. But like when you have like a weird, disturbing soundtrack.
Like The Grudge.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like if you have a
yeah.
soundtrack or musical sound.
Good sound effects. Okay, so what familiar creepy music when it's played scares you?
Creepy music that scares me.
Like for me, example, whenever I hear Saw, that
Yeah.
soundtrack, that really scares me.
Yeah.
So what soundtrack do you
I'm
think
not
scares
sure.
you?
I quite like the Grudge soundtrack is quite scary.
Yeah.
Stuff like that just completely scared me.
Okay, so what type of weapon used in a horror movie do you think puts the most fear in you?
I'm not sure. Like when they have something too big and over the top, I never get that scared. Except, actually no, in Silent Hill, when they had the Pyramid Head guy and he had this huge knife.
Yeah.
Like it was massive. He dragged it along, behind him. Like also the sound of that, like, was very like scary, and it was like massive. So like that was terrifying.
Okay. So how do you expect the victims to be / act like?
Terrified or dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of location, where would you feel most frightened?
Ooh, probably abandoned houses, maybe abandoned church, railways, morgues, anything like that. That would
Okay.
probably scare me. Cause
Anything to do with death?
yeah, well, graveyards don't scare me.
Don't they?
I'm not scared of graveyards, but if we go into an abandoned house in the middle of somewhere, that's pretty scary. Like if we find, I don't know, like abandoned schools, anything like that, they're pretty creepy.
All right then. My name's Shaquille, and thanks for me interviewing you. You have a good time?
Yeah.
All right, that's great. I'm out.